Most people don't realize this. But the way you think right now is not actually yours. Your goals, your limits, your expectations. They were shaped long before you even noticed. And that's why you don't aim higher. You don't take bigger risks. You don't go after what you actually want, not because you can't, but because your brain has been programmed to stay small. And until you break that pattern, nothing will change. Where does small thinking come from? From a very early age. You are taught limits, be realistic. Don't aim too high, play it safe. At first, these sound like advice, but over time, they become rules. Rules you don't question, rules you follow automatically. So instead of asking, what do I actually want? You ask, what is allowed? And that's where everything changes. Because your life becomes smaller, without you even noticing. You stop exploring, you stop risking. You stop thinking beyond what feels normal, and normal is usually average. How your brain keeps you within limits. Your brain doesn't want you to fail. But more importantly, it doesn't want uncertainty. Because uncertainty feels dangerous, so it keeps you in familiar territory. Even if it's not what you want, even if you feel stuck. This is why people stay in jobs they don't like, why they avoid opportunities, why they delay action. Because the brain prefers a known problem over an unknown possibility. It chooses safety over growth every time. And unless you notice this pattern, you'll keep repeating it. The main trap is, it's not for me. There is one thought that destroys more potential than anything else. That's not for me. You see success, money, freedom, and instantly, your brain creates distance. That's for them, not for me. And just like that, you stop trying. You don't even test your limits. Because you already accepted them. But here's the truth. That limit is not real, it's learned. And anything learned can be unlearned. How to reprogram your thinking. You don't break this pattern with motivation. You break it with exposure, step by step. Start expanding what feels normal. Consume better inputs, surround yourself with bigger ideas. Ask different questions instead of, can I do this? Ask, how could I do this? Instead of, is this realistic? Ask, what would it take? Because your brain follows the questions you ask. Change the questions, and you change the direction. Small actions gives big thinking. Thinking big is not one decision. It's a process, you prove it to yourself. Through action, small actions, repeated daily. You take one step outside your comfort zone. Then another, and slowly, your identity shifts. What once felt impossible becomes normal. And that's the moment everything changes. Because now, you're not forcing growth. You become the person who grows. You were never meant to think small. You were taught to, and anything that was taught can be changed, but only if you notice it. Only if you question it. Only if you decide to stop living inside invisible limits, because the moment you break them, you don't just think bigger, you start living differently.